Today we're working on the Grand Marquis, the 1978 Grand Marquis. And the problem I had with this was an oil leak at the oil pressure sending unit. I got home one day and I noticed a clattering noise coming from the valve train. And then I discovered when I checked the oil that it was about 1.5 quarts low. And I discovered there was some oil that had leaked back on the sending unit for the oil pressure switch. And you can see it. Yeah, let's see. It's kind of hard to see, but it's back down under there. So what we'll need to do is I got a replacement for it. I'm going to take the valve covers off and make sure there's no problems with the push rods. Also, I had an electrical system failure on the Grand Marquis. I couldn't get the trunk open. And I had to borrow a fuse out of one of the buses because we blew a fuse for some reason. We just were able to borrow a fuse from the S1700. So now I can at least get into the trunk to get the tools. For some reason, I didn't get the key to the trunk when I bought this car, so it always has to be open with the push button in the glove compartment. So now let's go ahead and take off those valve covers and see what we got in there. Well, I now have the valve covers off, but silly me, I can't find the big socket that you used to replace the oil pressure sending unit. I've looked everywhere for it. That'll teach me to put all my tools back away. Probably have to go into town tomorrow and get another socket. But I felt all the push rods. They all seem to be intact. I'm going to just spray some PB Blaster down the push rod holes and let it soak in overnight. I was getting that kind of clattering noise about 5 years ago, and the PB Blaster really seemed to help. One thing I noticed here was that some of these rockers have some play in it. I'm not sure how much is normal. It feels like the push rod is intact and not broken. But I'm just going to spray these overnight and let it soak, and then try and install the new sensor tomorrow. I went to O'Reilly's and I got the oil pressure switch removal socket. So hopefully this will do the trick in removing it. I still never found the old socket I used, but this is an actual socket purposely made for that application. So I'll go ahead and give it a try. I now replaced the oil pressure sending unit. You can see this one has got oil that leaked out of the top of it. Same thing happened on the Ford pickup truck. And you can see well, maybe a little hard to see. There's the new one. Got the rocker arm covers still off. I'll just do a demonstration of the engine running with the rocker arm covers off just for a minute, just to see what it looks like. I'm still getting a little bit of noise. It's not awful, but I'm getting a little bit of clicking with it. Mainly from this side, right in here. So I won't run it too long like this. Wanted to just sort of show what it looked like. Go ahead and put the rocker arm covers back on. Another thing I'm going to do while I've got the engine kind of, well, not really torn apart, but I've got the rocker arm covers off, is replace the spark plugs. These things are nasty. Look at that. Just tons of carbon buildup and crap on there. I'm going to replace, I got a whole new set of 8 spark plugs, so I'm going to replace these, and I bet you it'll run a lot better. I'm kind of ashamed to say those spark plugs have been in there for 5 years. I put new ones in when I first got it, so those probably have about I don't know, probably about 50,000 miles on it, and just are really carbonized and nasty. So I'll go ahead and put some good new spark plugs in it. The engine is now running quietly. I got it all reassembled, got the valve covers back on. Still doesn't run perfect, but it doesn't runs about the same as it did before I had that problem. But there's no more top-end engine noise anymore, thankfully. Don't see any oil leakage. Went ahead and put another quart in of 20W50 Castrol oil. So now we're going to take it for a road test, but should be back to like it should be. The bad thing is I wasn't able to get two of the old spark plugs out. They were just jammed in there. So I may need to try and get penetrating oil on them. Probably it would run a little smoother if I could get those old spark plugs out. Getting a little bit of smoke, but that's just because some oil dripped on the exhaust manifolds while I had the valve covers off, and I just checked their operation. So the Grand Marquis should be back in action now.